Are you on?
We're on.
Am I on?
You're on.
All right. First, you'll notice on the handout I gave you that it has the Australian version of how to give a date, because it says Sunday, 19 March, 2023. So we know Bruce is here in spirit. I was going to have him change it, and I thought, why do that? Why do that? So the first thing on the handout is what is our mission. So it was kind of interesting when Pastor gave us the goal of coming up with a mission statement or the heart of our department. And being a department that works mostly with details, we just like, well, we don't have a specific heart, we just get stuff done. So it took a while as we were talking about what the heart of our department was, or what our mission was, for us to put those things in detail. And this is basically, this handout is going to tell you about those details, about what our heart is and what we are trying to do to benefit our church. So the stewardship department is responsible for carefully and properly managing God's gifts from our family and using those gifts to glorify God. And then among those tasks are these responsibilities. So you'll see those. We are busy making sure, we're busy making sure that we receive and accurately account for all of the gifts that come in, whether it's from offerings, whether it's from other organizations, whether it's from people far away or wherever. We get gifts and we accurately account for those so that we can share those to the world. We pay our bills every month. Bruce works really hard on making sure the bills are out there and paid for. We work on activities, manage our endowment fund. So this year was the first year that we received our, okay, now I'm not going to think of the correct word, and Bill Spear isn't here, and we took our interest or our amount out of the endowment. So the endowment has been growing for 3 years, and each year we will take 4% and put that back into the operating budget. That does not come out of the endowment, that is part of the interest that is earned. So the endowment balance continues to be the same, and we take out the interest earned. We report to the council. We make sure that the council is aware of where our bills are going. We make them aware each month about trends that are happening, whether things are improving, whether things are, need to be, are slipping a little. Maybe there's a bill that we're not quite sure of. This month, the snow plowing, of course, was very big, and we wanted to make sure Properties was aware, and we have a new snowplow person, and just making sure that we're all in line with understanding where those dollars are going and how they're getting utilized. We work on preparing the financial report for the annual meeting, and we work with the departments to create the budget. So the budget is a long time working on it. We will start the budget actually coming up in April here. We'll work with the departments. We look at what their wants and needs are, things that are usual and things that are special that they want to do, and we put that all together, and hopefully at the end of June, when July rolls around to the annual meeting, we have come up with a budget that both will meet our goals and our expectations and be aligned with what we have seen as our gifts coming in, so that we have that all in line. And of course, we all do it prayerfully and thoughtfully, because we know that things come up, and we just pray the good Lord has found a way for us to get through all those things. Our current projects include the the member management system. You will notice I didn't bring one with me, in the bulletin today, there was a little extra big piece of information regarding our online and our text-to-give systems. Typically, most of the people in this room use the traditional offering way, sending a check or cash to our operating expenses. But sometimes you're away, sometimes you're traveling. People that are snowbirds, it's kind of nice if they don't have to worry about sending that check. The system through Breeze is safe and secure. It's very easy to use. Some of us have been using it from the beginning. Some of us have changed from PayPal to be using the Breeze online giving. And what's nice about it is when you go in there, PayPal pretty much you would just, it was either a special gift or it was just your regular giving. Now you can actually look at the list of things that we are giving to. You can send a check for Covenant World Relief. You can send a check that's specifically going to the building fund. You can send money in those specific ways right through an online giving. So that's just another option for you. We also hope to capture those people that are utilizing our online services, our online worship services, if they want to add to our work here at church, that they would be able to do an online giving right there when they are watching our worship services. So we're working on that component also. We are identifying, so one of the things that is really great is this church loves to give for special events, or loves to give for things that are going on, evidenced by $1,700 going to Turkey. We have a huge heart for making sure that people around the world are being served, and we want to be a part of that. Memorials come in for lots of different things, in memory or in honor of people with no designation. Sometimes they just come in, people just want, in memory of someone. So the Memorials Fund is pretty big, and we're really great at making sure we give. What we haven't been so good at is working on how do we get that back out to work? How do we get those gifts to go out and do God's will? So one of the things Stewardship of Finance is doing this year is we are trying to put together, a roadmap, both of how gifts can come in and how they delineate going out. We are tapping into the departments to have some wish lists outside of their usual budgeted items to keep everything running. What else do we, want to see happening in the church? The songbooks are a great idea. We had the songbook idea, but we hadn't budgeted for that. So looking at how can we get those memorial funds to work on those projects that we see God calling us to do, but we have not, put that specifically in our budget. So the Stewardship of Finance is working on that. And the last thing that we're working on is looking at those outside expenses that just plain happen. Properties has kind of put together long and short-term goals, things that they need to, and want to do that are outside of just the typical keeping the lights on. And we want to make sure that as we're working on a budget, that we have these expenditures in mind, that we are putting money away each year that just for those things, because the furnace goes down, because we need a new roof section, because the water heater broke, or we need new paint. We want to make sure that we are setting aside monies in order to do that. So that's another thing that the Stewardship of Finance is doing this year, is working with properties to kind of put together some ideas. How do we put away for these things? And make sure that the monies that you are giving for the work of God are going to all the places they need to. So in this little handout are all those things that I talked about. I don't think I missed anything. One of the things that we looked at is, we have looked at, this here is your list of where we've been in the last 4 years. So pre-COVID, we had $226,000 we brought in, or $268,000 that we had brought in. During COVID, we dropped to $165,000 that first major year, and $188,000 was last year's. So we are behind. And this year we're growing a little bit. We are improving, but we are still behind where we were. So that is what we need to be mindful of. God is working in this church. He has got fantastic things going on. We have people being served, and we just want everyone to be aware of, the work that's happening. We're just hoping that you understand, trying to keep you enlightened on what's going on in our church, as we move forward with all of the goals. Because Pastor says, change is coming. So, right, it's here.
It's happening.
Yeah. Anything you want to share with Pastor? Anything you want to share?
Not so much. I do want to thank Wendy for the work that she's put in. If you don't know, Wendy will not be the treasurer.
Not the stewardship of
Sorry,
finance.
the chair. Sorry. After this year, because her term is up, and she has to serve in that place. So we are very thankful for how much work she has put in. Because it has been because she has put in a lot of hours for volunteers. So we have thanked her over and over and over again. Please be mindful of that too, because we are excited for what is happening this year. We're excited for what things will come. We're excited for, next month already. So anyway, thank you for...
Any questions?
I noticed that you show the donations every year, but how is the church doing bottom line with expenses?
Bottom line, we're pretty close to holding our own. If you, you can always get a copy of the council minutes, and in the council minutes every month it shows the year to date. So it kind of shows where we're at. Right now, we have some expenses that were budgeted for that aren't being utilized. So that is kind of making up with some of the shortfalls that we're having income-wise. So we budgeted for like a CE director and those type of things. We budgeted for some positions and some funds that we thought were going out that haven't needed to. So that's basically keeping us balanced. We're below what we budgeted for income-wise, but we're pretty, like I said, with the expenses being less, we're holding on.
In my past church, every month they showed in the bulletin our income for the month and our expenses for the month. And it really helped increase donations, letting the congregation aware of where we stand.
Well, that's in the council meetings, minutes, but maybe, that might be something on a once,
Didn't we used to do that, or the year to date, or something?
I don't know.
I think so.
Okay, well, that will be something that we'll talk about with everyone and see whether we can put that in. We would put that in the Sunday after the council meeting, so it would be like mid-month that we could put that in there. So we can look at that. Thank you, Lynn. And that is, being aware, being visual is absolutely helpful. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh my God.
It's easy.
Thank you everyone very much.
Oh, where's my cursor?